name is Renee White, and I'm a junior mass communications major.
And my name is Harmony Bienemy, and I'm also a junior mass communications major. And
It's
it's
okay
okay
to
to
not
not be
be
okay.
okay. I say like mental health to me is kind of like taking out the trash. When your house is just upstairs, you're trying to make sure everything's straight, you're trying to clean up and do all that type stuff. Like it kind of reminds me of like, you have to keep everything in order, because if you don't clean your house, you get roaches. So if you don't you take way too long to kind of like handle your business, it can kind of like cause you to snap and hurt yourself or the people around you. So it's important to kind of like keep that or maintain that, do things to kind of like help, ease your mind.
I think like mental health it's a part of our health, like it's sometimes we wait until it gets too bad and then it's like, oh, let me focus on my mental health. And it's like it should be a daily thing. It's a part of your everyday life to make sure that you are in a sound place in your mind and you're not, going sporadic and no one else sees it because, it can all build up and eventually fall over. So I think it's just like keeping a healthy mental state.
Yeah, for sure. It just kind of reminds me of like, you have to really make sure that everything is together. Because, you do meet people and they don't take care of their business. And it's like, wow, like you hurting me, you hurting yourself, you hurting the people around you. And all of this could have been avoided had you just took the time to sit down and really deal with your inner self.
I've been a lot more busy. Like I've been busier at this point in my life, and it's a good thing. But I'm learning how to balance it. But I will say that it's healthy for my mind right now because I don't have time to sit and think about stuff that I shouldn't think about. I don't have time to be sad. It's like I'm always at work. You know what I'm saying? But I also think it's like I have bad anxiety, so my state of mind sometimes is like all over the place and like worried all the time. But I will say staying busy has really helped me like stay out of a sad place. I'm not in my room too much in my head or overthinking. I'm just like busy, busy, busy. But I do need to take time to like look at my mental health and say, okay, are we okay? Because I might be staying busy and it's like going bad for my head, you know what I'm saying? But that's where I'm at right now.
Really, friend?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Hmm. I am happy.
You think you're like a really happy state right now in your life? You think so? That's
What
lit.
about you?
Girl.
What's your mental state?
Uh, I don't know. Like I really, like I've always been a busy person. Like since freshman year, I hit the ground running. I'm always on the go, on the go. I can't stop. Like, what do they? Kate and them call me. They say I'm a crackhead. That's what they like to call me. No, for real, they like to call me a crackhead. They be like, you always on the go. Like like every time I see you on a mission, and it's like, yeah, but sometimes I feel like I thrive in that environment because it kind of keeps my mind together, right? Like, your mind is constantly moving, so like you just kind of like it keeps you together. It keeps you in the flow of things.
No space for error.
Yeah, no space. Yeah, no space for error. But I think it's like that because I'm African, so hey, African parents, they be. And I grew up in that mindset. Like everybody's always working, always trying to, elevate. And it's so funny because right now my mindset is kind of like, I don't know, like it's kind of like I'm in a place of peace because I am. Yes, I'm in a place of peace right now because it's like, I'm in a place where God really wants me to be. Because I feel like throughout my whole journey here at Cookman, I've been forcing so many different things. Like, when you're always on that chase and always on that grind for the next best thing or the next, event, like it can kind of be draining whenever you work, and it's like, damn, I'm not seeing any results. But right now, I'm in a place of peace. I mean, not complacency because that's different, but
Peaceful.
yeah, it's peaceful. It's peaceful. But I do sometimes get sad. I do sometimes be having,
I think we all
I get sad. I be in my
yeah,
feelings. I say the only thing that's kind of like been mentally draining or things in a sense like that would have to be like my current relationships with men.
I think I see that.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's draining me right now. But other than that,
Peace.
it's peace.
That's great.
Like my religion, my school, all that life is peaceful. It's peaceful, especially when you're around people you love, like you, friend. My biggest thing that I like to do in terms of coping with my mental health, I like to turn to my art. I like to write, like do my poetry pieces. Like if I'm really, really, really in my feelings, like I'm gonna go in on the poetry. Or like when I'm really, really, really stressed out, like in my body's physically feeling it, I like to dance. She knows that. She's the only person on planet Earth that's ever seen me really get in. I can dance though. What would you think? I can dance. I love to, that's my way of releasing all the negative energy and things like that. Yeah, I say that's how I usually cope and go on walks. Yeah, meditate.
On a day-to-day basis, people might think you crazy, but like I talk to myself and I talk to God like throughout the day something going wrong. I'm like, you know what, I'm stressed. I'm like, God, you know what, I'm giving it to you. Like that's how I do on a day-to-day basis. Like I be talking to myself and God all day because like that's really what keep me like going, because I will get in my head like too much, you know what I'm saying, like overthink every little thing in my life. Like I have that really bad. But as far as like if I'm dealing with something for a long time, like say I have a bad week, I like to like paint. When I'm home, I like to go on rides, but I'm not walking on campus. But I like to just like be in my own space by myself, listen to some music, pray, journal. Like that's what helps me like empty out my mind. So like if it's too much overthinking going on, I write it out and I'm like forget about it, so I could just keep going with my day in a peaceful like mindset.
I feel that too. Like turning to art can be so peaceful. Like I sketch also, so like like when you like really in that place, like that helps. It really does. Yeah, for sure. And meditation. I like to meditate, but sometimes I only meditate when I'm feeling really hippie, kind of like ish. I be having my times. You be having your times?
I just like to like music, and I just soft music and just chill. You gotta cry.
Oh yeah, that too.
Sometimes you gotta cry.
Yeah, you have to. You gotta cry. Sometimes it's okay to cry. I feel like a lot of people are scared to cry, and it's like no. Like I mean, me included. I don't like to cry in front of people because I don't like people to feel like they got the best of me. But like, it's okay to cry sometimes. Like, and sometimes you can't control it, and it just comes out. I've cried a couple of times.
If you don't focus on mental health, or you feel like mental health is like not real, like you're okay without acknowledging it, then it'll overcome you. And I feel like without taking care of your mental, nothing else is gonna go right. If you are always too much in your head, or you think in a negative way, like your life is gonna function how you think. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I personally feel. So I think it is very important that we acknowledge our mental health and the state of mind that we're in on a day-to-day basis, on a yearly basis, because it's a big part of your life, and why things are happening in your life, how things are happening in your life could all be because of your mental health. So I feel like it's a very important thing. What you think?
I don't know. I think mental health is important. Like, it is important. I will say that, like, everybody has their trauma that they're willing to deal with. And I will say that the biggest thing about mental health will have to be, like, people have to understand that, people are going to work through their trauma within time. You can't force somebody to kind of, like, work through their trauma, It's all self-motivated. Like, you have to want to get yourself into a place mentally, and I think it's very important that people give others time. You know how some people be like, oh, you need to go to therapy, girl. And it's like,
Give them their time to feel that way.
Yeah, because you know
Can't rush
you
somebody
can.
into that.
Yeah, because you can identify an issue, you know, with someone or something they could be going through something, and you can be like, "Hey, girl, you need to go to therapy." But ultimately, you know, it's their choice,
Yeah.
and it's their, you know, they have to kind of like feel that need to get up and go. And I don't know, like I also think that it's very important for people to just work their way through their issues. So yeah, mental health is very important, very very
And to
important.
add to that, I feel like it is important that you allow people their time to want to go and get help. Because personally, tried to do therapy in high school, but I'm just not ready for that because I'm not ready to open up and tell nobody what's going on. So if I pay for therapy and I go in there and they're like, "What's wrong?" I'm gonna be like, "Nothing, I'm okay. I'm stressed about school," but that's not what's really going on. I'm just not ready to open up. So I would rather wait until I get to that point, to want to open up before I just go sit in somebody's sofa and not tell them the truth, because that's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, I've had honestly, you know, I've had therapy. Well, I haven't done therapy before, um, but I have been in a space where it was kind of something similar, and I would basically like talk to the counselor and things like that. It was in high school too, and you know, I would go, but he never really like first meeting you never gonna be open. But that second meeting or the third meeting is when like it's the therapist's job to kind of get you there, you know. That's why they got couches in their rooms and stuff so you can lay down and really process and really get comfortable and really like be able to open up. So I'd give it another try. If I were you. I'd give it another try. It might be beneficial, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous to go back because I've been battling some things. It's some trauma I don't want to relive. Ooh, yo, college is a lot. College is a lot. Oh my God. Since we've been at school, like, oh my gosh, we about to be we about to be seniors.
Pressure.
It is a lot, but you know it's so funny because people they like to look at mass comm and be like, oh, mass comm is one of the easy. It's the easy bit. No,
We get the most pressure.
we get the honestly, no, for real. And it's funny because it's like, you know, the classes may not be as strenuous. It's the work that you had to do for the classes outside of class that's what gets you. But in terms of dealing with that stress, I'd say that you just have to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing, and you have to think of it as a marathon and not a sprint. Like you have, like mentally, you just have to kind of like be your own cheerleader in a sense. Well, that's what kind of helped me at least throughout my college experience. Like in your head, you kind of like, okay, I'm gonna meet this goal, each and every day. Like you gotta set a goal, and with that goal, you know, when you overcome your goal, you know, you feel, you know, rewarded.
Yeah.
And it's like you have your own personal reward. Like today, let's use today as an example. I have like a set amount of things I have to do, and I have a goal in my head. I'm like, okay, cool. After you do all of that, your reward is gonna be go home, take a nap, you know, wind down, do what you do. So honestly, in terms of coping with the pressure, you just have to kind of see every day as a new challenge, as a new way of overcoming your goals or achieving your goals.
I would say another way like dealing with the pressure of college is like acknowledging that it's there. Don't try to put it off like, oh, I got it. It's not too much for me. Sometimes it is, and sometimes you really have to sit down and be like, okay, today was a lot. I'm not okay. Maybe tomorrow you need an off day. Like sometimes you have to email your professors and be like, I'm not okay today. Now don't use it, overboard. But have your days where you go to yourself, tell your friends, no, I'm not coming out today. No, I don't want to hang out. I don't want to go to the cab. Be with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to acknowledge what's going on in your life and choose the way that helps you best, like